And so I'm sitting in this coffee shop, and I'm writing out notes, and this is when I was deciding about the fake Facebook person. I'm writing out notes, and then some random guy approaches me, and he's like, "Hey, are you Jeremy?" And I'm thinking, man, this like has to be a sign, right? Because like here I am, I'm thinking about like separate identity, and at the exact same moment I get taken for somebody else. And it's too big an opportunity to pass up, so before I can stop myself, before I can even think about the situation, I like look up at him, and I'm like, yes, I'm Jeremy. And the guy, he's like dressed pretty normally, right? He's got shirt and jeans, he's got his business case with him, and he puts the case down on the coffee table in front of me, and I swear to God, he says, "Do you have the money?" Okay, that's not true. He said, "Do you have the check?" Right? But when someone you don't know, and you like it's no more realistic to say it that way, because when someone you don't know walks up to you and asks you to have the check because he thinks you are someone you are not because you said you are that person, it hits you an awful lot like, "Do you have the money?" So this obviously would be a great time to be like, make up an excuse like, "Oh, I thought you said Brendan," right? But instead, right, I started worrying that if I did make up an excuse, he'd get suspicious that I was lying, which I was. And I found myself like an idiot, just like kind of going along with it and being like, "Yeah, no, I don't have the check." Which was true, like I didn't have the check. So he says like, "Oh, should we go get it?" And at this point it like dawns on me like how seriously dangerous this situation is. Like I have no idea who this guy is, and he doesn't look mean, but maybe he's not the kind of guy who is mean until you owe him money, and then he like kills you, right? And so like I'm just trying to like bide my time, I'm thinking what to say, and he's carrying this attaché case, and the attaché case would normally be like, "I'm a business case full of documents," and this case looks like I am a gun. So like I'm figuring what to do, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, right, well how much was it again?" And I say again, like we've already had the conversation, like over the phone or something, like, "Oh, how much was it again?" And at this point I'm half thinking he's going to say something like $500,000, right? At which point that would make things pretty simple, like you either have to run, fight, or die. Like these are clear, intuitive choices. But instead he's like, "Oh, $75, you owe me $75. Which in some ways leads to like an even more complicated problem, like should I just pay him? Which is ridiculous, right? Because someone's like, "Hey, what'd you do today?" I'm like, "Oh, not much. I went to a coffee shop, I did some writing, I impersonated a stranger for no reason, I paid some guy $75 to get over to the stranger's debt because I was worried the guy would shoot me." Except now, like, I'm not worried he's going to shoot me, right? Because if he's collecting $75, he's not, like, in the mafia or something. So briefly, like, very briefly, I'm like, "Oh, maybe I should just, like, barter with him." Like, "Sure it wasn't $40? But insteadly, I'm like, "Listen, man, I'm sorry. I'm not Jeremy. This is a misunderstanding. Like, I don't know who Jeremy is. My bad." And he looks at me, he's like, "You're not Jeremy." I'm like, "No." He's like, "You said you were Jeremy." I'm like, "Yes, I did." He's like, "Why would you say you were Jeremy if you're not Jeremy?" And I'm like, "That's an excellent question." And like I said, this guy is just like, he's a normal guy, and I feel like I totally like screwed him over and kind of wasted his time, and I feel like I owe an explanation, right? So what I do is I just tell him everything, right? Like the whole thought process about how I've been sitting there thinking about like anonymity and how our concept of socialization is changing in the face of online networking, and like on and on and on, this entire thing. And you have to remember, like, up till this point, we've talked for like 30 seconds, right? So as I'm telling this, like it lasts like 3 minutes, and he's looking at me like, "What is wrong with you?" And after I'm finished, he just stares at me. And then he's like, "Can I see your driver's license?" And then I found myself looking at him as if he were mistrustful, like, "Get a load of this guy. Doesn't believe I am who I say I am." As if I go around impersonating strangers. So I give him my driver's license, he reads it, he's like, "Brendan?" I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "Brendan McLeod?" I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "I'm going to remember that name." And then he just walks out of the coffee shop.